Hello, this is Walter at Sinew and Steel, and we're going to show you how to make an ITSB. That's an ITSB, or an inner tube sandbag. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing you need is an inner tube. You want to get a pretty good size inner tube. Don't get smaller inner tubes because you just can't get that much weight in them. This is a good size truck inner tube. A lot of places you can get them actually for free. This one has some holes in it, but it doesn't really matter because you just cut out the sections that don't have holes in it. This one actually has quite a few holes in it, but I can still use strips of it that I could cut out that I could use when I construct my inner tube sandbag. So this stuff cuts pretty easily. You cut it with a pair of nice shears, but even a pair of cheap scissors will cut this rubber pretty readily. If you're careful, it cuts right through it. So no big deal. We're going to get this out of the way. Here's a section that I already cut out of an inner tube entire, and I already hose clamped one end, and I'll show you how to do this when I do the other end. But right now this is ready. You want to do one end first, and then what we're going to do is we're going to line this with a couple garbage bags. Just like contractor cleanup bags, any kind of heavy duty construction bag will work. And you'll take two of them and stick one bag inside the other. So you got like a double plastic, and this will help prevent your sandbag from leaking on you. Or if you're going to use pea gravel, same thing, keeps the dust from leaking out of your sandbag. So we can grab them. But what I'm going to do is I got one plastic bag inside the other. I'm going to just basically grab this from the other end, and I'm going to jam it inside my inner tube. Just start dumping it in here. If you want to know how much your sandbag is going to weigh, smartest way to do it is just get yourself a 5-gallon bucket or two and dump the sand in there and weigh it until you get the weight that you want. And then you just take that sand, scoop it, and dump it into your plastic bag inside your inner tube, and then you'll be all set. If you try filling your garbage bag up first and sticking it in your inner tube, you're going to have a hard time. So always put the plastic bags in your inner tube first. Make sure you always sealed off one end. So I'm going to keep putting sand in here. I'm going to fill it up. If I twist this until this bag is tight against this sand, what will happen is the sand has nowhere to go. It can't move around or flow very good because it's tight in here. And then when I make the other tail on this end of the inner tube, if I make it tight against here, this is really solid. So you can make it a sandbag that way. It just is going to be even harder to lift because you can't really get a grip on it. So you're only going to have to you'll only be able to lift it with your hands like this or with your arms underneath it. You won't be able to dig into it and grab very well because I don't lift by the tails, and I don't want you lifting the sandbag by the tails either. So what we want to do is unwrap this and leave some space here in this plastic bag so the sand can move and flow around much more readily. So if you look at this down here, you can see I got this twisted right up against the sand right there. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take like 2 hand widths approximately like this, and I want to put my tape about here. So this is about where I want my tape. So I'm just going to stick it on right here. Wrap it on there nice and tight. I'm going to grab me another piece, and then I'm going to fold this tail here over this. Now it looks like this, and I'm just going to duct tape that. I'm going to put a little extra piece on there. I want it to seal really good. That way, in order for the sand to come out, it has to go up through the first place where it's duct tape, around the bend, and then back through here to come out. So chances of the sand leaking out are greatly reduced. Now, I'm going to fluff this out in here, and now the sand will have room to flow into this part. I'm going to take this tail and just tuck it in here a little bit like this. Pull your inner tube back out over it. And then I'm just going to kind of fluff it in the inner tube and pull that bag out a little bit more. Maybe even get a little sand flowing down into there. Better. Now I'm going to make my tail on this end. Same thing as I don't want to crunch this rubber and wedge it way up against the body of the sand. I want to do it out here on the end, so it leaves some loose space here on both ends so the sand can move and flow around in my inner tube much more readily, and it gives a more lively feel to the sandbag, so as you lift it, the sand can kind of flow and move around a little bit more. Get yourself a couple pieces of duct tape. Just kind of bunch this all up. Put a little piece of tape on it. I'm going to stick another piece on there. Wrap it a little nicer. Then I want to make sure all my rubber tails or end pieces are sticking out past where I'm going to clamp it. All I'm going to do is just use a regular hose clamp. It costs $1 or $2. You can get a pack of them pretty inexpensively. And I'm just going to tighten this thing up on here. Now careful if you're using a screwdriver, because if you slip, you'll cut your finger. And if you have a nut driver which that slides over this, it's a lot safer, it's a lot easier to do. But if you're careful, you can use a screwdriver. We'll just keep cranking this down here, get it nice and snug. Figured you didn't need to watch the whole tightening sequence. You know how to do this. Just get it on here good and tight. Take a look at it every now and then, make sure it's squeezing your rubber good. It'll squeeze tight so it's not going to slip off. By putting the duct tape on underneath it, it keeps this hose clamp from cutting into the rubber so much. If you're really worried about it, just take a strip of this rubber and wrap it around there really tight, then duct tape it before you put your hose clamp on there, and then this will give an extra layer of protection. But I've just done it this way with several layers of duct tape on it and never had a problem. Although if you get strong enough to lift a 300-400 pound bag of sand, you might want that extra rubber on it. Now what I'm going to do, use duct tape, get it ready, and this time I am going to put a piece of rubber under here, just a piece of inner tube, stick it up under here, take it, pull it nice and tight. Stretch it around that hose clamp. Pull it all the way around there. Hold it with your thumb. Put your duct tape on there. Get that on there nice and tight. Squeeze it, mold it to that. It'll be less apt to come off. I'm going to put another piece on it. So I want to make sure this stays on really good. And by covering this up with the rubber and then with the duct tape, that'll prevent you from getting cut on that hose clamp. And if you ever want to change it out, all you got to do is peel the duct tape off, take the hose clamp off, and you can open your bag back up. Here's our sandbag. I loaded this one up, I pre-weighed it, so I know it's about 80 pounds. It might be slightly more because of the rubber and the hose clamp and the duct tapes, but that's basically how you do it. Now, we'll shift it around and get the sand loose in here and flowing. There you go. Here's an ITSB, an ITSB, an inner tube sandbag. To lift it any way you want. Get your arms underneath it, get your hands underneath it to support it. You can grab it like this and squeeze it. And I actually think pea gravel even works better because it can kind of flow and move around even better than the sand does. So this is one way to make an inner tube sandbag. And in case you're wondering, this is the sand that I used. It's just multi-purpose sand. It's like $2.47 for a 60-pound bag. You can get playground sand. That's about, I don't know, $4.50 for 50 pounds. So this way you get a little bit more sand and it's half the price. So you can make an inner tube sandbag pretty inexpensively.